Now, I know this is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But if your woman is not submissive to you, I don't give a damn what nationality she is. I don't care if you live together. I don't give a damn if you're black, you're white. I don't give a damn if y'all the same nationality. I don't give a damn where you live at in the world. If your woman is not submissive to you, she ain't your woman. She belongs to the streets. She belongs to her job. She belongs to the pastor at that church she attends on every Sunday. She belongs to her friends that influence her to do dumb shit. She belongs to somebody else, but she doesn't belong to you. And I know this is hard, a harsh truth. And it's something that I had to face about 15 years ago. And it's one of the biggest problems that I had, because I used to think that you had to pander and negotiate and talk women into shit, but all that's bullshit. It really is. And a lot of women will try to run game on guys because a lot of women want guys to protect them in some type of way. If that door fly open, or if some type of danger is coming towards her, she looks, first thing she does is look at the guy that's sitting next to her. So she wants protection, but at the same time, she doesn't want to take instructions from a man. She can't stand a guy telling her what to do. You know, so you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Shit, it's some countries like Saudi Arabia and Dubai where women have to submit by law because those guys are in power. They run shit over there. So, you know, but living here in America, women, they pretty much do submit as they will. They just do what they feel like it. And that's the problem of living in the United States of America. Because women, if a woman does submit to you here, you don't know how long it's going to last. It could be 5 years, 10 years. But it works out well for us fellas, because if she gets out of pocket or does something that's unforgettable, you can get you another bitch. So it's all good. And by that time, in most cases, by the time she stops submitting to you, she's already up in age anyway. She's probably old. She's probably overweight. She probably doesn't look as attractive as she used to be. So sometimes it works out pretty well for some guys that I know. And I've lost friends because of like a lot of women, because they let their wives get up in their ears and tell them shit. And see, here's the deal. A woman should never have the authority to tell a guy what to do. A woman should never wear the pants in the relationship. You know, once a woman once women lead guys around, that's the beginning and the end of society as it is. You know, because women aren't supposed to play that position. They're out of line. You know, guys are born to lead. It's guys that's on the front lines. There's no women on no front lines, last I checked. But at the same time, women say, oh, I believe in equality and all that shit. Women can do just as better things as men. That's bullshit. Everyone has their position, and they supposed to play their position. But they want to go against nature. And a lot of women, they just want to get treated better than white guys in American society. They just want to take over the whole goddamn thing. They want to dominate guys. That's what that's really all about. It's really all about power. It's not about rights at all. It's not about public policy at all. That's just a game that a lot of women try to play. But there's always exception to the rule. Socially, if you're with a woman and if she doesn't submit to you, she ain't your woman. She belongs to the streets. And that's just how that shit is. She doesn't belong to you. Because if she belonged to you, you wouldn't have to beg for sex or negotiate for sex. You wouldn't have to talk her into doing anything. It just is what it is. I mean, right now, if I go to North Carolina and call up women that I've been knowing for years and say, "Hey, I'm in town. Where you at? I want to see you." They'll make time for me. They won't say, "Hey, I'm tired," or "I don't know if I'll be able to make it." No, they'll make time. There's no such thing as "I don't got time." That's bullshit. It really is. It took me a long time to figure this out. And I learned a lot by hanging around a lot of athletes and entertainers when I was in my 20s. And I learned a valuable lesson. They didn't have to negotiate for sex. Can you imagine Michael Jackson, Prince, a lot of these entertainers, they never had to ask for sex. Michael Jackson never had to ask for sex. You think about this for a second. He never had to ask for the pussy. I mean, could you imagine somebody like Prince? He never had to ask for the pussy. Man. So it's who you are more than anything else. So who you are is much more powerful than the doing. That's what I learned over the past 20 years. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Yes, sir. It's official. Like a referee with a whistle. Tom Ray, you consistent with the knowledge. Hold up, let me put that on the screen. You consistent with the knowledge and content you drop on here. Yeah, I try to be. That's the key to success. To be consistent and to be disciplined. That's the key to success in any area of your life. You know what I'm saying? You can't that don't have anything to do with talent. I always said talent is overrated. You can be the most talented person on the planet, but if you're not consistent and you don't have discipline, oh well. Talent is all for nothing. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? So I tried my best, Tom. That's all I know, basically. I don't know any other way else to be but consistent in all areas of my life. It ain't just coming on here and doing these videos. I'm like this in all areas of my life, But, I can always be better. I think we can all be better. I'm never complacent, or there's no finish line, So hey man, that's just me. That's just how I get down. That's how I roll. So hey, like, share the video, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna put the link in here early. I just want to hear what other people have to say. Yeah, I think this is a good conversation. Something we have to talk about. Really, something that a lot of people don't really want to talk about. really. But this is something there's a shift in society when it comes to women, and I saw it 10 years ago. I kind of predicted 10 years ago that things were going to be the way it is today. To what extent? Of course, I didn't know, but I knew that the more opportunities women got, it was just going to go left. You know, I just 10 years ago, I saw it. You know, I think about 15 years ago, I saw white women start getting thick in the thighs and thick in the ass. I'm like, oh boy, it's over now. It's just that's all they needed. They already had the tits. And when I saw that, I said, these dudes gonna lose their damn minds out here now. Almost everything I predicted happened already, except for the robots are not out as much as I thought. There's toys out here, but they don't have the robots. It's not, the AI ain't like I thought it would be so far. It's out here, but it ain't like the common man and the common woman don't have no AI robot yet. That's the only thing that I predicted that's not out here in abundance already. And some people will say, man, ain't nobody trying to date no robot. That's crazy. Shit. Man, there's people right now contemplating of how it would be dating a robot. Shit. You gotta look at it like this. A lot of people, relationships for a lot of people is hard work, right? So a lot of people want the easy way out. So why not buy a robot, program the robot, and install any type of programming that I want on any day and any time, even if I get tired of one programming, uninstall that programming to have a woman, a robot, act the way I would like to at any given time. Women too. Women, same thing. If you're a woman, you can have a man and a woman as a robot. Shit. This is why a lot of women don't really need guys today. What it is a lot of, if a woman gets with you today, it's because she wants to be with you, not because she needs to, in most cases. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. See, back in the day, women got together because they needed to, not because they wanted to. Because depending on where your grandfather, your grandparents, or your parents, depending on how old your parents is, depending on where they grew up at, it was really dangerous for a woman to be out and about by herself, especially if you were in the South or Midwest back in the day, like in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, even in the 70s. It was really dangerous for a woman to be out and about by herself. you know. So a lot of women back in the day, when my grandparents were growing up, they needed a man. And this man needed a woman. And it wasn't really about love. It was about pushing the family forward. That's what it really was all about. And you would, you would see the woman and you would go meet the family, mainly the dad of that woman. Y'all would sit down, eat dinner, and they would get to know you. And then they would determine if you were a good fit for his daughter. That's how it was. That's how grandpa did it and grandma did it back in the day. It wasn't no damn dating. It was more like courting. That's what it was. The dating thing didn't really start until the late 60s. That's when the dating thing, the whole concept of dating really started. But before that, man, nobody was really dating. It was, where the hell are you going to go at? It was dangerous going to a damn restaurant. For most people. Most black people, for sure. What restaurant you going to in the 40s? And 20s and 30s? That's just a joke. If you went to any restaurant, your ass probably wouldn't made it back home. I mean, they were restaurants, but I'm saying it wasn't like it is today. That's all I'm saying. There were bars, restaurants, but to get there and to get back, that shit was dangerous. And they didn't have a lot of cars back then. It was horses and carriage. If you had a car, like in the 20s and 30s, 40s, you had money. That shit was expensive back then. So it was a completely different ball game back then, man. Go ask your grandfather, if he's still living, how it was in the 20s and 30s and 40s. He'll tell you. There wasn't no damn dating. Wasn't no Uber. Wasn't no... I don't even remember when taxis came out. To be honest. But it wasn't no taxis in the 20s and 30s and 40s. Unless you... Now, if you lived in a major city, maybe so. You live in like New York City, maybe LA, maybe. But if you live in like New York City or DC, maybe so. Back then. But every place else, man, they ain't really had no taxi like that. Shit. Who taxi, they might not even pick you up. Shit. How the hell are you going to date somebody with all those dynamics and situations going on all at one time? You got to realize, my father told me he was one of the first people to buy a car in his neighborhood. And the only reason he got it because he had a good paying job. He could afford it. But he said with that came some problems because the Klan was out back then, strong, right? So they were riding on horses for the most part. And, he said he would pull up at the house at nighttime and blow the horn to signal to his wife that he was outside. Because if you open the door for the wrong person, shit, that was your ass. The way we go to the door today, somebody will ring the doorbell, ding dong, and we'll just go to the door, unlock the door and open the door. You couldn't do that shit back then. No, shit. That could be life and death back then. Shit. So you can't date and all that. No. The dating thing came when feminism came in. When them white women came in and conned black women to take the benefits over the man. That's when the dating thing came in. Dating came in when women started getting opportunities from big government. And they got conned. They fell for it. And what a lot of black women didn't know is white women didn't have to do all that. The rules were different for the white women. That's what a lot of black women didn't realize at the time. And then they started letting foreigners over here. And then he went through Jim Crow and that's when the drugs came in then, in the 80s. You know? And things it was downhill from there. You know? And then the drugs, and then the guns, then technology. And that's where we at today. You know? And it's always more laws, more public policies. So the more opportunities women get, better jobs, etc., the worse things are going to get. And I'm not knocking women. Hey, you want to move up the corporate ladder? Knock yourself out. If you want to start a company, knock yourself out. But there's a give and take with that. There's a sacrifice with that. Because when you're at that job, at that company, you're in your masculine. And most women, when they go home, they don't know how to turn it off. So that's just what it is. You know? Regarding the run, you wouldn't go that. Maybe you wouldn't go that far, Tom. But there's some guys out here that would. There's some guys out here that would go that far. There's guys that buying toys right now off the internet. They are some sex store shop down the street. There's guys that's buying that shit just like women buying it. You know. So why wouldn't they buy a robot? They buying toys already. What they got to lose? What they got to lose, man? Jacking off ain't enough. Yeah. Women need men. I agree. They do. But do they want to be with men, though? That's the thing. Some do. Some don't. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but women don't see relationship the same like they did back in the day. Women don't see relationship as a priority today. The job is a priority. See, the family used to be a priority for women back in the day. But it ain't like that no more, for the most part. Not in North America, anyway. Now, I'm talking about as a collective, as a group. You know? Of course, there's some women out here that take care of their families and put their families first. Of course. But if you talk to some of these women, they'll talk about everything else but family. If you sit back and just listen, if you ask them, hey, what do you want? What goals, dreams, desires, inspiration you have? They'll talk about lifestyle, talk about, buying stuff, talk about their job or whatever they desire to do. And they don't mention family one time. And this is the average woman out here today. I'm like, damn, what happened? They don't even mention no kids, no nothing. So I said, damn, what about you don't want to get married? Well, if it happens, it happens. See, women weren't talking like that back in the day. They weren't talking like that. If it happens, it happens. So the mind, don't matter. Well, okay. Grab a passport. Well, everybody's not going to be able to travel like that, bro. Let's be practical, man. Let's use. How many people have a passport? The handsome trucker. How many people have a passport? Let's just be honest. How many people have a passport? How many people have ever went on a vacation? How many people has traveled outside of North America? Let's be honest. We throw out a lot of, ideas and fantasies, but most guys are not going to be able to just grab a passport and get on a flight and go to Colombia. Most guys are not going to be able to do that shit. They would have done it already. If that's the case, shit. If I got kids, a mortgage, a wife, I ain't got to have a wife. If I got kids, a mortgage, a job, and if I'm barely getting by already, when do you think I'm going to be able to take a trip outside of America? This is where a lot of guys are. It's like a lot of guys are not sitting around with tons of money left over after they're done paying their bills. Now there's a lot of guys that are doing well, but they got a lot of overhead. They got a lot of overhead. Shit. And I overspent. It's easy for a guy that don't have no kids, no wife, no mortgage, to say, hey, I'm going to Mexico next month. It's easier for that guy to do that. I've been that guy. I've been both guys. It's easy. It's easy being single, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Somebody else would disagree with that. Some people would say it's easier being married. I don't disagree. I'm not going to disagree with anybody, but that's just my opinion. It was much easier being single because it was just me. And I could get up and move. I didn't have to think about anybody else. But when you're married, you have responsibilities, When you have kids, you have responsibilities. Your kids, hey, they didn't come here. They didn't ask to be here. I think our society will be better off when men and women actually want each other and come together. Yeah. Now, you kind of saw this play out early during the pandemic. When the pandemic first popped off, you kind of saw a shift. Women were nice during the pandemic. Damn. Hey, man, I ain't heard one guy complain during the pandemic. Like I'm talking like the first year of the pandemic, I ain't heard no guy complain. I'm like, damn, these women are being, because the women were scared. They were scared as shit. A lot of women thought they was gonna die, like tomorrow. No, 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 no. Yeah, a lot of women thought they was gonna die like tomorrow, boy. They were scared as hell. You know, as soon as a lot of women thought, as soon as the door opened, they think, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, what? You tripping. You need to keep your ass home if you that scared. Because a lot of women, hey, don't, I would invite you over, but you might have the Rona. Boy, they were tripping, boy. The women were scared to death. That's when you saw a little shift, you know. But I knew that wasn't gonna last that long. It lasted for like 2 years. I mean, a year and a half, I guess. I'd say a year and a half. You know, I said, hey, y'all better enjoy this because this ain't gonna last forever. So see that tells when people get scared, oh man, they adapt. And it might not be for the best. They might not make the best moves, but hey, they do the best they can, I guess. You know. So yeah, man, it's like it was there was some crazy times, man. You know, I'm like, damn, it's crazy, man. People were exaggerating, and people, a lot of women, especially, they were very paranoid. You know, like, hey, don't get close to me. I'm like, holy moly! I remember I was at work one time, and some lady said, I was waiting on, I pushed the button to go in the elevator, right? And the elevator opened up, and some lady was in there, and she said, "Sorry, sir, catch the next one." Yeah, a lot of women were tripping, boy. You know, I'm like, damn, you know, because there was a lot of stories out here that they were just throwing out on the news, and some of the shit were true, some of the shit were false. So a lot of people didn't really know what to believe. You know, but if you're in a closed area, it's there's a chance you can catch anything if you're in a closed space, close quarters. I mean, that's just what it is. You know. So if you go inside that building, there's a good chance you can catch something. If it's other people in there, that's just what it is. Regardless of someone get close to you or not. Even if you give somebody a hug, a kiss, or whatever, there's a good chance you could catch something. Could catch a cold, could catch a flu, whatever. We know this. This is basic stuff. You don't have to be a doctor to know it. to know that. That's just basic. But, you know, I think a lot of people, I think it slowed a lot of people down, the pandemic, you know, because people started, you know, started to question their way of living and how they get down physically. A lot of people weren't so fast to jump in the sack with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you what was crazy. A lot of people I know personally, if they didn't trust the guy or the woman, they cut them off for a while. You know, and then some people just cut them off completely. So that happened too. You know, and then you have some people might have met somebody and they got into a relationship. Change their whole get down. Which is cool, but you know, that's funny. See, a lot of people, man, are hard-headed. Something has to happen before they get their shit together. I guess you could say it like that, you know. So during those pandemic times, a lot of women felt like they needed a man. You know, they felt like they needed a man during those times because those times were unpredictable. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. A lot of people were losing their jobs. I would say recently, at least where I'm at anyway, people really started going back to work. Where I'm at, not everybody, but I would say a good majority of people started going back to work over the past 3 months. You know, people aren't wearing masks like they usually did. Not even 6 months ago. If you go to the store right now, Walmart, Target, Publix, people aren't wearing masks like that. No. You know. So, you know, there's definitely a shift, you know. And then a lot of companies aren't requiring you to take the jab, you know. So that's a change. What up, Cosmic Warrior? Greetings, Sharp. Glad to see you still doing your thing. Hope all is well. Yeah, same to you, brother. I'm good, man. Same to you, man. So there's a shift, definitely a shift in the whole society, you know. And of course it varies depending on where you live. You know, certain towns move faster than others, you know, whatever. During the pandemic, my supervisor worked from home for a year. Yeah, there's a lot of people. A lot of people did that. A lot of people still doing it. There's a lot of positions, man, are remote, and some of them are what they call hybrid, where they work home sometime, they work in the office sometime. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of job positions like that. Some people, man, they took advantage of the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's straight up and down. Some people just took advantage of the shit after a while. You know, they start saying shit like they were perpetrating. Man, I'm scared to come up in the office, man. I don't want to die. I'm like, man, you bullshit. Cut it out. You ain't scared of nothing. You just trying to, get your little hustle on. You ain't a lot of people were taking advantage of the situation. You know, hey, I know what it is. But, a lot of people aren't
stupid.
A lot of people aren't that bright, you know. But, you know. So, you know, today, man, women just see relationships differently. You know, I think back in the day, grandma didn't really want, she didn't have all the expectations that a lot of women have today. You know, women today have a long list, boy. And half of that shit, it ain't happening. But that's on that list. Yo, smash the like button. Share the video. Smash the like button. And women are very unrealistic today. You know, they don't even know if they really want what they want. They're competing with their friends. Some of my coworkers are getting letters for their doctors stating that it's not safe for them to return to work. Oh, for real? How did that, doctors say, well, maybe so. I don't know. What, are they personal doctors? Or just some doctor that they knew? Because, you know, some of these doctors, they know people on the inside. So what kind of doctors? Yeah. I know some doctors on the inside too. They be knowing shit. They can't talk over the telephone about it. So, you know, but I'll ask them, hey, what do you think about? I'll give them a hypothetical situation, and then they'll say, hey, no, I wouldn't do that. You know, I think you know, yeah, you know, because if you're a doc, some of these doctors, man, started talking too much, they got missing. Did y'all, you know that? Some of these doctors got missing. You know that? That were doing all that talking. And one doctor ended up, they found his ass in the Hudson Bay, shot in the chest. Yeah, man, there's a couple of doctors got missing, man. You know, personal doctor. Well, you know, maybe he knows something, you know. Yeah, some of these doctors, man, end up mysteriously dead. They be floating in the damn river somewhere. Damn. It's gangsta out here, man. You know, maybe. You know, you don't know who. It's crazy, man. Shit. They farm could be. They send them pretty boys after you. You know. You know what time it is. They send the guys in the nice suits after you. They show up at the door. I'm like, who the hell is this motherfucker? In a nice suit until he open his blazer and show you and give you that business. And you be like, oh shit. You know, you get caught off guard. It happens, man. You know. It's a cold world out here we live in. It's gangsters out here, man. I'm telling you. That's how it is, man. It ain't sweet out here. Not like you probably think. Things are not what they seem, you know. It ain't. It's some stuff, man, I would never say online publicly. I would never say it. You know, You become a target once you start talking about certain people and certain things. If you ever watch the news, man, you never notice that there's some people they never talk about. There's certain families they never talk about. You ever notice that? You might read a book about certain people or certain families, but on the news, they never slander certain families and certain people. Do you think that's by accident? Shit, that's not by accident. That's by design. Shit, they know better. What the hell is this? Somebody sent me this crazy message off Instagram. I don't know these damn people. No, I've been getting these messages from these people that do Forex and NFTs lately. I don't even understand NFTs. You know, everybody think they know the secret of Forex. They got the secret. They know something that I don't know about it. I know the secret, man. I got it, man. This buying my system, man. Shit. He just started 6 months ago. He know the secret. And I've been doing this shit for what? How long? 3 years? Yeah, 3 years now. And he know the secret. And he started 3 months ago. Forex. Get out of here.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
You know, there's a lot of misinformation out here, man. People be lying their ass off. Yeah. So you gotta just be careful, man. Just gotta be careful out here. Be careful who you listen to, who you take advice from. Because a lot of these people just went to 2-3 countries, and all of a sudden, he's the shit now. I'm like, what? I mean, how many places you been to? Oh, I just been to Brazil and Colombia. That's it? Yeah. And he know everything now. I'm like, wait a minute.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
There's a lot of people like that, man. They'll go to, and they only been there probably one time, maybe twice, to that destination. And they think they know everything about the country. I'm like, there's no way in hell. You know, so you got to be careful, man. Be careful with that. You know, a lot of times, being that we live here in North America, we've been disenfranchised and treated so badly. A lot of us are looking for an outlet, whether we're aware of it or not. You know, so the first place we go to outside of North America, and the first woman that treats us like a human being, shit, we might be hooked. We might be hooked, man, on the first woman. It happens a lot. I understand, but don't do that. Don't be hooked on the first woman that treats you like a human being when you first touch down in some country. Don't do that. That's not, I wouldn't recommend that. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's okay to keep in contact with her, but don't put all your eggs in one basket so fast, especially. But what I would say is relationships with the common man and woman It's pretty much been over like 10 years ago. You know. Now, if you're the type of guy you can move and shake, you you can afford to get out and about, you know, and maintain your standard of living. Hey, you should travel. You know, you should do that. But don't do like a lot of these guys do. They'll get on a plane and strictly spending credit card money. Credit card money. He ain't got no cash. He ain't got no money in the bank. It's strictly credit cards he's swiping. He bought the hotel with a credit card, the plane ticket with the credit card, the food with the credit card. Don't do that shit, man. Don't do that shit. There's women that do that shit. I don't recommend that. You know, look, cash is king. You know, what if your credit card don't work in these other countries? What you gonna do then? You don't got no cash in your bank account. You can't go pull out from no ATM machine because you ain't got nothing in there. So what you gonna do when your credit card don't work? Or this happens a lot. Your credit card company might notice that there's a transaction in another country that you never been. At least you never used it in that country, and they'll shut it off because they think it's fraud. And now what you gonna do? You shit up. I know that happened to somebody I knew. Man, don't do that shit. I bailed him out. I Western Union him some money. Don't do that shit. That's crazy, yo. Don't do that shit. Don't be traveling, man, out and about with no damn money, no cash. You operating on credit cards only. Don't do that shit, man. You don't want to be dependent on one thing. A recipe for disaster. I recently started using only my debit card. Much better. Well, yeah, I mean, having access to cash is good. You know, you don't want to. I'm a cash man. I don't like walking around looking for an ATM machine in another country. Because a lot of these other countries, they don't have ATMs like we do over here. ATMs everywhere over here. These other places, ATMs you're not going to see ATMs like that. It might be in the hotel, maybe at the restaurant, maybe at the club. Outside, yeah, but you're not going to see an abundance of ATMs like that. And you don't want to be going to the ATM like that by yourself in these other countries. That's how people get robbed. They rob the shit out of them, man. That happens. You don't want to be at nighttime at the ATM pulling out a couple $100 by yourself. That's how people get robbed, man. You're an easy target now. You know, if you want to, mostly, if I have to exchange money, I usually get it in the airport. If well, that varies. If the exchange rate is good, I'll get it in the airport. Otherwise, I'll pull it out from the ATM. You know, Now, you'll see ATMs in the airport for sure, but once you leave that airport in most countries, man, you're not going to see ATMs like that, like we do over here. In some countries, man, you might not see no ATMs unless you're at a hotel. Like if you're on the street, certain countries, you ain't gonna see you might not see no ATMs because they don't use them shits like that. So cash is king. I got used to I got used to carrying cash a long time ago. Sometimes I carry too much cash, That's not good either. I had to stop doing that. Because the cop tried to take my money one time. The cop was about to take my money, man. God damn. Yeah, he didn't get it though. Hell no. So you gotta be careful with that. Got to be careful, man. And I see a lot of guys doing things in these other countries. They be filming, they be holding the camera up in the cab and with the window down, and some fool will try to grab his camera while he in the taxi. Bam! And then you ain't gonna catch him once he grab your camera because the car going in the opposite direction. So all he got to do is grab the camera at the red light or when you cruising by in the car, snatch your camera, and he gone. So a lot of guys are doing shit that I'd be like, you're just asking for it. I saw this shit in Mexico. A lot of guys were filming. I'm like, yo, bro, you're not in America, bro. You think you can walk around and do the same shit? No, you can't. You're not protected in these other countries like you are over here. It's not the same, Why will the cop want to take your money? What was the reason? Because I had too much money on me. It was over 5,000. Yeah, they'll take your damn money if you got too much money on you. Because they would say, well, how'd you get the money? And I told him I was in the military, and then he backed off. Hell, they do that shit all the time, bro. What country you live in? They don't do that to them white guys, though. They do that to us all the time. Shit. Shakedown. They do that to us all the time, bro. What state you live in? A cop thought he thought I was a dope boy. Exactly. You in New Jersey? And you don't know that? Shit. Come on, man. What part of don't tell me you close to Newark or Jersey City or close to New York City. And you don't know that? They shake them down all the time up there in New Jersey and New York. Lots of crooked cops take cash. Look, hell yeah, they take cash all the time. Shit. I didn't even know. They at the time, I didn't even know they would do that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And somebody told me after the fact that if the cop took my money, I would have to go to that department and basically with proof saying that how I got the money. I didn't even know that at the time. Because at the time, I didn't have a lot of running with cops until I got out the Navy. That's when I started having a bunch of running with cops. You live in Mississippi, I know it. Yeah, of course. Well, being in the South, being from down south, we pretty much know how this shit is. That's one thing about living down south versus being up north. We know what the hell is going on in this country. We ain't, because up north there's like a delusion, kind of, that hey, there's diversity up here. We ain't like you country bumpkins down south. Oh shit! Up north is worse. Up north is worse. I've been to New York City a couple times. Jersey City. I've been to Brooklyn, Bronx. I've been to all them damn boroughs. I've been to Teaneck, New Jersey. I've been to all them areas. I can see the shit coming a mile away before it happens, you know. But the people I'm around, they can't see it. So that's what I mean when I said being down south. We know what the hell going on. You know, people up north kind of have this little image or a little idea that, hey, I got white friends, so hey, I'm good. What? What are you talking about? That's the funniest shit I ever heard. You know? Shit. You got white friends, all right. Princeton area? Okay. Cops even took an armored vehicle cache recently. Oh, I'm not surprised. It's a lot of money in armored vehicles. I believe you. I'm just surprised that a cop can take your money. Why not? I'm a human being, just like everybody else. I'm just another black man. That's it. You know, when the cop saw me, he saw just another black man. He didn't know I was just getting out the Navy. He didn't know that until I told him. Actually, anything below Virginia is the South. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think so. I was about to say, yeah, I think you're right about that. I lived in New York for 1 year. To me, New Yorkers think the South is a racist place because people are more open. New York racism is more like the mafia. Just don't say anything. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. Up there, you got a lot of mafia types, you know, but there's some down south, but not like up there. So that's one big difference between the South and the North. You know, a lot of people up there won't say certain things because they're afraid what might happen to them. Someone might show up at the door, or they might get sniped at night, if you know what I mean. So a lot of times people get into a trap thinking, yeah, I'm in this nice corporate job, but they don't realize they've always set a trap for you to leave a year or two. You don't even know it. Yeah, exactly. But you have to know that, though. You have to try to be ahead of that shit, because you know you're not going to be able to work in most of these jobs for 10 years, 10, 20 years. Forget about it. Let me tell you something. If you get a job next week, and if you can stay there for 5 years, consider that to be a win. You know, because you got 2 to 5 years in most of these jobs. You know, and you either you gonna leave or they gonna find a way to get rid of you. 2 to 5 years. That's all you got in most of these jobs. Sometimes it's less than that. It's overt in the South and covert in the North. Yep. Basically, yeah. See, down South, we have an understanding down here. You know, hey, we know y'all. We know how you feel about us. You stay over there, we'll stay over here and we won't have no problem. That's how I grew up. We were just like that. You know, we know what it is. You know, we ain't confused about a goddamn thing. That's how it was. That's how I grew up, man. 3 years max, unless you are part of the inside crew. Well, yeah. Sometimes you might think you're a part of the inside crew, but you're not really. You know, but it's usually 2 to 5 years. You know, usually. You know, some people don't last, can't even reach the 2-year mark. Damn. But that's usually how it is, man. You can't. I've learned, man, I can't really depend on these companies for my livelihood. I use these jobs like a prostitute, basically. You know, I treat these jobs like a prostitute. That's how I use them, basically. I'm not going to put my livelihood in these damn jobs. I can't. I used to be that guy years ago. And boy, did that bring me a lot of strife, problems, you know. For real. How the hell this damn woman on phone porn? God damn. Well, these women online do anything for money. God damn, man. Ooh, these women do anything for money. How, you know, you got women they do them OnlyFans, boy. They going all out with it, boy. They're going for the gusto. God damn. Yeah. Man. Unless it's something that you have a license, like working in the medical field for electrician, really jobs are just a job. They're just stepping stones to move you forward. Yeah, basically, you know, unless you got a job, some type of job trade or something like that, or something that you can do regardless, you know, or outside the job, something that you can do outside the job or regardless of what happens with the job. But other than that, I would advise every man to have more than one means of income. You know, don't be so complacent and depend on these companies because if that's your only means of income and you get fired, how long can you go without a paycheck? How long can you go without a paycheck? You know, smash the like button. Let's see. You're right. Sometimes they let you think you're one of the boys. Yeah, they do. That happens all the time. Shit. Yeah, they just do that so they can use your ass. You be thinking, "How man, they like me, man." You know, Darnell, he's such a good, fine young black man. Darnell. And they'll use Darnell as like the bar for all the black guys. Hey, how come you can't be like Darnell? He's such a fine young fella. You know, they do that shit a lot. You know, and they'll start saying, and the white women will come around. You start saying little, you know, offensive things, and you laugh it off. You know, and you're like, what? What did she say to you, bro? You know, she said if
if I dated black guys, I would surely date you, Darnell. And you take it as a compliment. You take it as a compliment. That's a slap in the face, bro. That's a slap in the face. That's not a compliment. I wouldn't even entertain no shit like that. If you were a black guy, I sure would date you. If I dated black guys, I would date you in a heartbeat. Shit. Then secretly, she's thinking, hey, I wonder what it would be like if we went out for a drink or two and we went back to my place. White women be thinking, they be contemplating all kind of shit. I wonder if he has. I bet he has such a big cock. Hey, Darnell. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm getting fucked by a black guy. Well, white women, boy, hey, they be going off, boy. They be saying some wild shit sometimes. I'm being fucked by a black guy. I can't believe it. What do you mean you can't believe it? What are you talking about? Oh man. I'm telling you, boy, you real. Yeah, white women, boy, they'll say some shit that'll throw you off. You be like, yo, you don't even know if you should leave or you don't know if you should run or stay. You're like, what the hell? You don't even know how to take the shit sometimes. You be like, oh man, what? I don't know how to take this. I'm confused, man. What's going on here? That's a messed up. Yeah, man. I didn't work a lot of jobs, man. I know how it is, man. I worked a bunch of corporate jobs, manual labor jobs, blue collar jobs. I worked them all. I worked except for a restaurant. I never worked at a restaurant, but I worked a bunch of jobs, man. Look good. Some black folks don't have the strength to just walk away. Yeah, that's true. You're hilarious tonight. I've been saying I like to have fun, joke around sometimes, man. I'm from the UK. So if women don't need men, then do men need women? There will not be any more procreation. That statement doesn't make sense. No, men do need women. Most men want to be with a woman. Most men think they need to be with a woman. Most women don't see it the same. Women today, the majority of women, I would say, family is not first. Getting married is not something that they think about very much. Now, a lot of women would say, well, I want to be with a man, but I don't need to be with a man. A lot of women would say that, And what I said earlier is back in the day, your grandma needed to be with a man because, they were trying to push the family forward, But today, family is not something, having a family today is not that important for a lot of women. That's all I was saying. Women don't feel like they need a man today. because they got the job, they got the house, they got the car. You know, they have all these other opportunities. You know, they got a dildo. You know, so what they need a man for? And even if they get bored with the toys, they can always get a stud. You know, get a stud with a strap on and she good. Right? So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, you know. Family is marriage for a woman today. It's not the same the way it was with your grandma. That's all I'm saying. But, you know, that's what it is. What up, Jordan? Yo, smash the like button. You can go the other way too, Sharp, on the first Asian girl thinking that, huh? You can go the other way too, Sharp, on the first Asian girl thinking that. Well, yeah. Yeah. They're the ones that's going to be pushing a lot of this stuff over here when it comes to the AI robots. Look, see, you might think, a lot of people think that, hey, having a robot, programming a robot, and dating a robot, they think that's far-fetched. That's like out of here. No, there's people thinking about it right now. There's people that's thinking, hey, relationships is too hard. You know, I'll get a robot and program the robot, you know, and you'll be able to upload the program, plug it into your computer, and check off whatever you software you want to install in the robot. That's how it's going to be for men and women. The only reason everybody don't have it now because it's too high. Everybody can't afford to pay that, you know. But that's how it's going to be. And for women, they're already using the toys anyway. Guys are already using toys anyway, men and women. So the robots is like an extension of what what a lot of people are already doing now anyway. If you're using a dildo, what would make you not want to buy a robot if you can afford it? That's all I'm saying. I mean, think about it. If I'm using a dildo or a strap-on or whatever that shit them guys be buying, why wouldn't I want to get a robot? I think most of these people will be curious to see how it works, you know? And then when they try it, they'll be like, oh, this is much better than I thought it would be. That's all it takes. And then you got these scientists that work for MIT, Harvard, Yale. They're going to be pushing this shit because that's their job. And then you got some company going to come in. What's the name of that company? It's already a company that's already came in already. And they promoting the shit. You know, there's a scientist at MIT, Harvard. They be talking about this shit from time to time. You know, it's happening. Yo.
Oh, sure.
What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
No, what I was saying was how you mentioned how the white women are thinking, oh my God, I'm with my first black guy.
Oh, yeah.
When I was with my first Asian, I was doing the same thing in back of my mind saying, I can't believe this is happening.
Oh, why were you saying that? Thinking that?
Because I was 32 back then, low self-esteem and all that. You know, this just the way my life was until I changed my whole perspective of life. Basically, I saw myself lower than I was. So if you get something you always want, it's almost like you feel like, oh, I won the lottery. But the truth of the matter, a woman is just a woman. You're not winning the lottery with a woman.
Yeah,
that's just a relationship regardless. So, yeah, a different mindset back then.
Yeah, but your reasoning is different from the white woman, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's I hear you, man. You know, I'm trying to was I ever like I never really been like that. I think
Well,
when I
you had good parenting or good upbringing. You said once your family said something about you were in the Navy, and when you got out, the world you have to start making decisions for yourself.
yeah.
A lot of us didn't get that. We had to learn that gradually through time or life to make us realize that point. And when you get to that point, that's when you can have control of your own life because you're not putting the decision on somebody else.
Yeah. You know.
That's the difference between us. So.
Gotcha, man. You about to roll out, right?
Yeah, I'm about to roll out, man. So I'll just listen to you, man. Thanks for letting me call in.
All right, peace, man. Get a stud. Yeah. They already doing it, man. I lived in Atlanta for 10 years, man. I used to see studs with women all the time. I think we all think that. I think we all think that about people who think you do not know. Hey, what's up, Corey and Chad? I think we all. Well, I think I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the person, of course. You know, there's a lot of I mean, I know some women that are younger than me and older than me. They don't necessarily need a man, but they want to be with a man, you know. And when I'm around them, everything's cool, you know. It's like you know, I act like a man, they act like a woman, and we get along. We don't really get caught up in the what's going on outside, what they do for a living, what I do for a living. So I think it just depends on, of course, it depends on the person, you know. But things have changed over the years. You know, there's no doubt about it. You know, but there's still a lot of women out here that want to be with men. You know, and there's a lot of guys that want to be with women. You know, you have to put things in perspective. That's what I would say. You know, I saw videos about Japan like 7 years back. They weren't having babies like that since they were so focused on their careers. A major part of their sex life were toys and yeah, the birth rates in Japan is low. It's been that way since I don't know. It was that way in the 90s when I was over there. You know, so yeah, you know, if you go to Japan, you see a lot of old people walking around because it ain't a lot of people having babies like that. That's not, and it's been that way for a long time. I don't know if it's going to change. You know, you have in Japan you have flocks of guys together and flocks of women together in like restaurants and bar and grills and stuff like that. And there might be one guy with the women in the group. And you have a bunch of guys together and there won't be no women. If you go to places like Tokyo, you see that. That's common today. You know, the last time I went to Japan was like 2017, and it was still like that. It was like that in the 90s. It's still like that. It hasn't changed. You know, so I don't know. They view companionship as pointless. Well, some do. Some do. Some do, man. I was referring to a caller's comment about being with their first agent. Oh, okay. Gotcha. And being like, wow, I can't believe I'm with our first Asian. Well, yeah, he said he had low self-esteem, basically. You know. So yeah, that if you have low self-esteem, people feel like they don't deserve certain things, even especially if it's a good thing. You know, so I get that. Them guys heard paying a company in Japan for dating service for men. Have you heard that? I seen a young dude said if he hit the lottery, he would rent a chick. God.
Have some sex.
No, I haven't seen that. But I wouldn't be surprised if that type of stuff happens over there. Japan is a very different place. You know, it's a very different place, man. This was a very difficult place to live too, man. I had a hard time living over there. You know, the first year was very difficult for me at the time. And yeah, I'm a young man at the time. I'm like 20 years old, 21. You're going to have a lot of lonely people in the current future. Maybe, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Well, hopefully I'll be here to see it. I don't know. We had an Asian girlfriend for a year, love exploring the culture. It was so drastically different than our culture. Oh, yeah, I remember seeing the picture. I think that the picture y'all took of her. She's very attractive, you know. Yeah, but it is a very different culture. They think differently, very different from the way we do over here. And there's no right or wrong. That's just how they grew up, their culture or whatever. So, that's just how it is, man. You know. Japan has a different mindset about dating, marriage, and kids. So there's a whole different idea over there. Yeah. One thing that when I first went to Japan, when they told me about the age. If a woman is 20, like late 20s, she's old in Japan. And a lot of guys won't take her serious. That kind of, I'm like, really? Okay. So you might have a woman that's 30, let's say 30 years old, Japanese woman, right? She looks good, nice personality. You're attracted to her. She's fun to be around. But the average Japanese guy, he ain't touching that. No. He'll be cordial with her and talk to her, but he ain't touching that, buddy. So you have thousands of Sullivan women. You have women in Japan probably ain't had sex in years. You might have a 40-year-old Japanese woman ain't had sex in 5-10 years, man. Because she doesn't date foreigners. She just dates Japanese guys. She's not around foreigners, and at a certain point, she knows if she don't start the date out, she's going to die lonely. There's a lot of that over there. I ran into that a lot, quite a few times, I thought that was that blew my mind, man. I'm 21 years old at the time. That blew my mind. I'm like, damn. It's wild, man. you know, the book Shogun is a fascinating read about Japanese culture. They view love in much different ways than we do. As the wife, her job was running finances and family. His job was being a warrior. Yeah. Yep. That is true. It is a weird. I seen Asian girls, women in the 40s, the guys in the USA in their 30s. They were the untouched women in Japan, and men didn't want them. Yeah. And the funny thing is, check this out. You might have a Japanese girl that's 35 years old. She'll come to America, and the Japanese guys over here will date her over here. But in Japan, they won't. So I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Why won't you date her over there? It's the same woman. They'd be like, well, the pickings is slim over here. So we got the, take what we can get. I'm like, okay. That's, it's a different mindset, man. Things is see in over here in North America, things have to make sense to us. It's not like that over there. It's not about getting things done all the time in these other places. It's about comfort and being in harmony and getting along. But here in North America, it's about, being productive and making things happen. They're not thinking like that so much. It's just a different way of being, I would say. When I brought the news about Japan to my friends, most felt they were behind when it comes to chillaxing and partying. I'm starting to see the same BS for people in the U.S. in today's time. Yeah, pride is keeping people lonely. Yeah, that pride is, people have that killer pride. Yes, sir. It's about the mid-40s where the Japanese women start to look at foreigners with a different eye. They'll actually give foreigners a chance, especially as brothers. Yeah, because they don't want to die lonely. I don't think anybody wants to die lonely. I don't think. I could be wrong about that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anyone wants to die lonely. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. That's true, but also the Japanese women want to date a younger foreigner. They always want to be in America. It's like they accept, yeah, he's younger in America, but in Japan, it's almost looked down upon. Yeah, that too. It's I think it's more. I think a lot of it has to do with what other people might think when they see them dating a older woman or dating a younger guy. That's what I think a lot of it has to do. Because when they come to America, their parents is not over here. So their friends, for the most part, is not over here to look over their shoulder and see what's going on with them. So a lot of that has to do with it. I think that has a lot to do with it. In Japan, to me, it's like the Lego movie. The dad followed the instructions to make the Legos, like the instructions said. The son will use his imagination to go beyond the instructions. I said that because I had a Japanese friend. We invited her to a party. She came over, had a good time. She left her jacket. Me and some friends went to her house to give her jacket back. She was mad. Oh, okay. Yeah. Why? Because we invited her to our house, but she never invited us to her house, so she just followed the instructions. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. Yeah, but most Japanese girls, for the most part, are pretty cool, man. You know, they're pretty cool, but they have to like you. If they don't like you, boy, you're in danger. For real. They said, in America, we wouldn't care about some things like that, but most of us, anyway. Yeah, you know, like you said, we're of a different mindset. We've been socialized to be very differently here in North America. This is a cut up here, man. They cut the whole city, cutthroat. Oh man. So yeah, man. Geez Louise. It's been an hour and a half on here already. Yeah, hour and a half, man. Hey, don't forget about the podcast. Don't forget about the Love Can't Wait podcast, man. Go over there, subscribe, man, and leave me a review. I appreciate it. I uploaded a new episode yesterday, and it was pretty cool. She's a girl from she lives in San Francisco. She's on the West Coast. And you know what they say about the West Coast? West Coast is the best coast. That was a good interview. It was kind of funny, to be honest. But the video is up on this channel, and you can get the audio as well. It's up to you, Just go to Love Can't Wait. Just go to Google and type in Love Can't Wait podcast. That's where you find it at. So, other than that, man, check out my Patreon too, man. I just got I did the video with Mickey Royal, like what, a week ago? Yeah. These are off of I don't know how many books he got. 5, 6 books, So yeah, man, But I think one thing we can all agree on is relationships are not the way it was when your grandparents and great grandparents were growing up. We can all agree with that. For sure. I don't think any man or woman would disagree with that. To what extent we have our opinions, but we know that it ain't the same. I think we can agree with that. We might not agree with everything else, but we can agree that grandpa and great grandpa and ma, their relationship ain't like it is today. We can all agree with that. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. How women see as far as being with men today. I don't think it's as far as women don't need a man, but they still want to be with a man. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because like I said, there's some women that I know, we have great relationships, but they still know how to act like a woman. Basically, they still know how to act like a woman. They make their own money, got nice cars and jewelry and all that, got a job, but when they're around me, they still act like a woman. What they do for a living, they don't They don't have nothing to do with treating me differently, you know? And if they did, I wouldn't be around them anyway. Said it's a shift in the mindset. Yeah, it is. It is a shift in mindset. You know. Yeah. It is. But you gotta always remember, everything is corrupt up here. Everything is corrupt. So you can't swim in the mud without getting some mud on you. That's what my grandmother used to tell me. We all are affected in some way, shape, or form, whether we realize it or not. You know. See, you can be in the world. My mom used to say this. You can be in the world, but not of the world. That's my mom used to say that. You can be in the world, but not of the world, which means that you have to disconnect, at least try to anyway, disconnect from the chaos or disconnect from anything that doesn't benefit you or help you become the best person you can be. You know, anything that doesn't help you prosper in life, you know, don't get caught up in the, you know, things you can't control. For example, if you can't do nothing about it, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your politicians. They all liars. They all liars. I mean, at this point, we know that. You know? And the leader, hey, this is the worst leadership I've ever seen in my life, by the way. This is the worst leadership. I've never seen no type of, you have people in leadership positions, but they're not leading. They're bad leaders. They're bad leaders, man. He said, game is, yeah, it's strategy. Exactly. That's all it is. You know, see, what you don't know can be used against you. That's usually how they go, for the most part. You know, and I'm a testament to that. I've been taken advantage of many times because I just didn't know. If you don't know, most people aren't going to say anything. They'll just keep it moving and they'll let you walk. They'll smoke a cigarette and watch you walk through the fucking fire. They won't say anything. I've had people do that to me. They knew I was going in the wrong direction. Didn't say anything. Nothing whatsoever. I'm like, damn. I thought we were friends. Obviously, we wasn't, you know. That's happened to me a couple times. And that's probably happened to you a couple times. Yeah, so it happens. That's great that you man enough to express. I mean, it happens. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to me, man. That type of shit happens. Happens to everybody. Nobody knows everything. You know. At some point, somebody's going to take advantage of you. That's just a part of life. You know? So it's okay. I don't really, I mean, I might not like it, but I don't really, that's just a part of the game. That's a part of life, man. That's almost a given. That's going to happen. Just the best thing you can do is just learn from it and move on. That's it. You don't even have to get mad or upset. Yeah. What's up with my camera, man? It gets blurry from time to time. What's up with that? That's kind of weird. It's been doing this for like the past week now. My camera's acting weird, man. It's a good thing I have more than one. For real. Gotta have a backup camera, man. You never depend on one thing. Never depend on one thing. I don't. You know, you might start off that way, but you don't gotta end as you get older. No, don't depend on just one thing. That's a recipe for disaster. You know. The word one or the number one is not that's not the business, you know. But hey, you know, I'm about to get off here. Like, share the video, check out my Patreon, and check out the Love Can't Wait podcast and all that good stuff, man. And till next time, I'm out. Peace.